Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good time zone. Thanks for joining us for another episode of GSE's Girl Pod. I am your host, Candy, and of course, I am joined by the lovely yet dangerous V. How we doing, V?
I'm doing great, Candy. It's been a warm day here in Scotland, but it's been a lovely day. So, how are you doing?
It has been a warm but great day. It is just really, really hot. And Sean did a lot of cooking in the kitchen behind me earlier today, and the heat has not gone anywhere. It is still here. No matter with
Yeah,
two ACs and fans running, it's still hot. But
yeah.
but it's all
You
right.
need to get him to next time make make a salad or something as part of the cooking stream. Like, it's like we can't have the oven on; it's too warm. Like,
The oven wasn't even on. That's the crazy thing. The oven never went on. It
oh
was just just really, really warm. But it was delicious. And I'm gonna have some after the recording of this, so I can't be too mad. Can't be too mad about it.
no, you do get tasty food out of it, so
I
that's
do.
always a bonus. Yeah.
I do. But if you're
Mm.
tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Each episode, we talk about gaming from our female perspectives, including saying that cozy games are not just for girls. But before we dive into today's topics, if you're not already following the channel, click that subscribe button. What are you doing? Subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you also check out the weekly news podcast every Thursday. V is on there with the rest of the UK gang. And then also check out the party chat on Fridays. And if you need more gaming news in your life, check out gamersocialclub.ca. That's where we write. And that's what brought us together. You'll find editorial guides, news, reviews, all written for gamers, by gamers. So if you don't like our opinion, well, too bad it's an opinion. But
Yeah.
hopefully you'll agree. And if you don't agree, you can let us know why you don't agree. So,
Exactly.
yeah. And they're all spot checked by V. So it'll be
Yeah.
grammatically well done.
Yeah. So if there's any opinions you don't agree with about our reviews, feel free. But please do not tell me that the grammar is bad, because it is not. I have an advanced higher in English. Like, and I'm telling you right now, I know how a semicolon works. Like,
And you won't see all the dashes that say this was written by AI. Because I love that you see all the dash and it's like this is AI. I think I've used a
yeah,
dash like once in my entire life.
I use a lot of dashes, but like the little dash on your keyboard for parenthesis. And I
Mm-hmm.
know grammatically it should be an M dash that you would see AI do. But in order to do that on most keyboards, you don't have a button for it. You need like a keyboard shortcut. And I refuse to believe just all of a sudden everyone's learned what that
Mm-hmm.
keyboard shortcut is. Because you haven't. Just use a hyphen like everybody else.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
yeah,
100%.
and stop lying and saying that it's not AI. You just know how grammar works. It's like, yeah, okay, you specifically
Mm-hmm.
learned how to do an M dash because
Yeah.
you were concerned about your work being grammatically accurate. Mhm. No, there's other ways to do parenthesis. Also, use a bracket. It's fine. Like, like.
You heard it here.
Mm,
You heard it here. So what are
mm.
you what are you sipping on today?
Oh, today I have a lovely um ripasso. So I've got it's from Majestic, which is like a wine shop here in the UK. Um, so it's a nice Italian red. I think it's made using like the after products of a wine called Amarone, which is my favorite of all wines because it's like drinking a glass of jam. I think you would enjoy if
I'll
you're
say
a
that
red
sounds
wine
good.
drinker.
Mm-hmm.
But no, a Repasso's the slightly cheaper, slightly less jammy version. Um, because we can't be drinking Amarones every night of the week.
Are
I
you
would
sure?
bankrupt myself. They're about the cheapest one I can get here is like about £18 a bottle
Okay, fair.
for an Amarone. So that's a special occasion wine. It's like you've had a really bad week, you buy yourself a bottle of Amarone, like, or you're having a nice meal, you get yourself a bottle of Amarone. Whereas a Repasso's only like £12 or so. So that's a fine Saturday night wine.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair. I'm joining you with the wine. I am trying my first fruit scotto.
I don't
So,
know what that is. Is it like a Moscato? Like,
yes, but it is like very fruit forward. Um so they say this deliciously sweet blend is made with white wine and natural flavors and burst with aromas of crisp, juicy apples. So it's a apple fruit scotto. This one's made by Barefoot. I don't think my camera wants to focus on it, but that's okay. Um, when I looked at the store, there were a bunch of different ones. There was like a strawberry, a peach, and all different types of things. Um, it's interesting. I don't
Mm.
love it. I thought I would. I really like the flavor of apples, um, but it is very refreshing, right? But it's
Yeah,
not like something that I would drink a ton of. I'm like, oh, this is nice. Um, it's I think it's the carbonation and the apples where my mouth is almost like this should taste like a cider because it's apple,
yeah,
but then it tastes like wine. Like, what is this strange thing? And it's not quite sweet enough to be like an apple soda. So it's this sort of weird in between. It's good, it's refreshing for a hot day like this. Um, but like with other wines where I think no matter what time of year I would drink a sweet wine, this feels very
yeah,
much like a summer drink.
yeah. Where is it from? Because I've heard of Moscato, which is generally, well, Italian. Because and the frizzy version was it Moscato Frizzante.
Yeah.
They're generally made in a region of Italy called Asti, which is like where a lot of my favorite wines come from. But I suppose if you're putting fruit flavors and stuff like that into it, it might just be obviously your muscat grapes and the
Mm-hmm.
this is me then like tidbits of V lore is I love wine. I love wine. And I can get proper into the weeds of it. Um,
So that says it's from
but I have been
California.
to Asti. Okay, so it'll be just muscat grapes, yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
then with the fruit flavorings and stuff in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. I have been to Asti for a work event, but was
Okay.
lucky enough to go to like a wine making area, like shop. So they had all the barrels and stuff like that under a mountain in a place called Kennelly. And I drank a shed load of Moscato in the front part of the shop with a quality manager from a factory. And there was a big group of Americans on obviously doing you do like wine tours of Italy because there's loads of wine. Um, and we were just standing in the reception because the quality manager who knew the owner getting a bit turned we had some uh Asti Spumante, we had some Moscato, and then we moved on to the Barolo, which is like drinking a leather chair. I love
Oh
it.
yeah. I've heard of those. Yeah.
Yeah. But then the Americans came out of their wine tasting room and we were like eating snacks and just drinking in the foyer. And they were like, oh, look, the Italians, like they all get special treatment. And I just said something and they were like, that's not Italian. What is it? Why does she get special treatment? And I'm like, yeah, just it's fine. Like Scottish people get special treatment anyway. Like, but it
I've
was great.
never
Would recommend.
I've
Um,
never actually done like a proper wine tour. Like I've
mm,
so there are a lot of like upstate New York wines and there's a lot of wineries up there. And I've gone to a few by the Finger Lakes. If anybody who knows anything about wine is listening to this and knows the area, right? So I've done a few of those, but I've never done like the proper tours. It's always been like, oh, there's a lot of wineries on this road and this path. Let's just go from one to the next and do it that way. And like they talk to you about some of them, but I know some people are also like, well, the upstate New York wines are garbage because they're all overly sweet, and I'm like, yes, but that's like what I want. Like I want
that's
the
what I want.
overly sweet, right? So like,
Yeah.
yes, give me, please. um so that's why I tend to go towards those, but a lot of them will talk to you about it, but I've never done the full-fledged. I should at some point do one, like the full-fledged, like here's all of this. I've seen brewery tours and I don't even drink beer, but I've been on those.
Yeah. But no, brewery tours are great. There's I think like vineyards and stuff. There's like really different processes.
Mm-hmm.
I've only no, I've done more than one brewery tour, but my best brewery tour was my friend actually got married in a brewery.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so she got married in West Brewery in Glasgow. It's in an old carpet factory, so it's like a really lovely building as well. But then we were all decked out in our wedding finery, and I had ridiculous high heels on. And you'll know if you've ever walked around a brewery, it's like a mess. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
just stuff all shit all over the floor. So
Yep.
we were all like suited and booted, like oh, I've got my dress on, and these ridiculous shoes, like don't deck it, don't deck it, don't deck it. Like just be sensible, walk about the brewery, don't have too many pints before we go on the brewery tour. You can have many pints afterwards.
Yep. Mm-hmm. When
But
it's
it
all
was
said
good
and
fun.
done, have plenty.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we maybe had too many actually. But it was a wedding. So
It
I
was a
think that's
wedding.
allowed. Like, yeah.
There's no
Fine.
such thing at a wedding.
No, yeah. And if you're going to get married in a brewery, like in Scotland, like I'm going to get drunk at your wedding. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think Yana minded. Like she's German, and her husband's Scottish, so like
So they were good
they
with
did
it.
not.
Yeah.
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 No. I feel like there are certain occasions where it's like you have to really, really try hard for it to be too many. Like
Yeah.
a wedding is, you're celebrating, everybody's happy. Like that's one of those moments. Like, no.
Yeah. No, absolutely. As long as you don't fall over, you're fine.
Yeah.
Drink responsibly. Like
I did have one person get hurt at our wedding. Just one though.
were they too drunk, or was it a dancing related injury?
It was not dancing
Was
related.
there a knife fight?
No knife fights. No, they just they like missed a step and like twisted their ankle. And
oh no.
I just remember Sean's dad the next morning is like, yeah, we saw someone just like take a hell of a fall. And then like the next day we see someone like limping. I was like, oh.
Are you okay?
1 out of 100 is not bad. 1%.
Oh no, that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah. I've seen more people than that fall at a wedding. Like
yeah. See? All right, so if you keep your ratio like 1 out of every 100, you're still doing all right.
Yeah, in fact, one of my friends from work, she was at a wedding a couple of months ago and she broke her arm. So, that's
oh my God.
they just twisted their ankle, they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we may have discussed this previously, but in Scotland, at the end of all parties, we play a song called Loch Lomond because we're just so intensely proud of being Scottish at all times. But and the way that you dance to it is a bit like how people do like Auld Lang Syne, and you cross hands like that.
Okay.
And then when the chorus kicks in, everyone like goes into the circle, then comes back out of the circle. But this is the end of the night of a Scottish wedding, so you're like shit faced. And yeah, I think someone stood on her foot, and then she like fell, but because
of the holding,
the way, yeah, she broke her arm. So like, luckily it was only a twisted ankle. Like, could have been so much worse.
It could have been worse. It could have been worse. Oh my gosh, no, good. Yeah, you know what? Now I feel better about her falling and twisting her ankle.
Yeah.
Who knew? It could. Yeah. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. But yeah, let's. I was trying to think of a good transition from someone breaking their arm to a fantasy guest, but I don't have one. I think you've stumped me on transitions.
Apologies. We go the guest route. It's like, speaking of guests. Like
you're that would be the speaking of wedding guest, right? That would have been the easiest thing. I think I'm just so stuck on someone breaking their arm at a wedding that I couldn't even get there. I couldn't even do it. Wow.
Yeah.
So who's your fantasy guest? Who are you inviting to the podcast and maybe a wedding? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'm not planning on getting married anytime soon. But my fantasy guest for this week, we've moved out of strictly voice actors into more diverse groups of people. I think I would choose Billy Basso, who is the developer of Animal Well. I don't know if you've played Animal Well.
I have not, but I know a little bit about it.
Yeah, so for those of you who are not familiar with Animal Well, it's a little 2D pixel art Metroidvania with a like ridiculously small file size for how much is going on in the game. It's like definitely under a gig. Like it's kind of wild actually how small it is considering how much stuff there is to do. But I've been on a bit of a puzzly game kick recently. Do love a puzzle game, and I love a puzzle game that just makes me feel like I'm the dumbest person in the room. Like, just like I need a puzzle game to be like, is this hard or am I just stupid? Like, I feel like if you have that, I'm like, this is a good puzzle game. Because then when it
Okay.
clicks,
Okay.
then you're like, oh, then you feel like super intelligent. So
I can
Animal
see that.
Well
I can
has
see that. Yeah.
yeah. Well, Animal Well has no combat, so you get it's all traversal abilities to then do different things with different puzzles and stuff. But it's got what they call layers of
Mm-hmm.
it,
Okay.
so you can complete the game on your own. Obviously, because it's a video game, you would be hope to be able to do that by working stuff out. But there are other puzzles and other layers to it that require like input from the community to solve. So there's like
Okay.
a puzzle where you have to there's a puzzle involving like a random tile of like a picture, and each person has like a different one. It's like randomly generated, so you then have to get the inputs from other players in order to solve this bigger puzzle, and actually figure out what the fuck is going on with all the rabbits. Because like there's like certain things like you then see people are talking about, and I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? There's a hidden pedometer?
Oh my
Like
god.
I'm so,
Okay.
what is this? Like but it was all made by one man, just by himself, coming up with all of these puzzles, coming up with
Wow.
all of this. Uh, I think it won debut indie game of the year last year at the Game Awards. Might be wrong on that. But it was certainly nominated,
Mm-hmm.
and it was one of my games of the year last year. And I would just like to know what is wrong with you, Billy Basso? What is wrong with your brain? Like genuinely, how do people? One person, how does one person come up with it's a bit like when you were talking about the developer of Danganronpa. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I am confused as to how anyone's brain can work this way, um,
Mm-hmm.
because you are not just coming up with the scenario. You then have to make it so it's solvable, like
Right.
in a way that makes sense. And when you solve it, you're like, oh shit, no, that makes sense. Not just like old school point and click adventures are the ones I always think about, where you're like just trying random bits on stuff
Mm-hmm.
because and then you find the solution and you're like there's no logic here, there's no
There's
logical
no
steps that
yes.
you could ever think of to get to that, whereas that's not the case in Animal Well. Like
Okay.
eventually if you solve something you're like oh, okay, I see it, I see what you did here and it's amazing. So yeah, I'd be like please come on Girl Pod so we can ask you what is wrong with you, but also you can like give us a little bit of insight into game design as a solo dev and like what it's like to have what is essentially like a passion project for one person
Mm-hmm.
fucking blow up and get all of this recognition when you're just like one well guy. Like I assume that he could just retire right now, like because of how much it would have sold and stuff like that, which is crazy to think about. You know,
Yeah.
like
Hell
you're
yeah.
just like here's my game about small blob. I have a little figure of small blob over here, and like here's my small blob game. Um, and all of a sudden it's like one of the best-selling indies on Steam for like when it was released and stuff like that, which I think is wild. I
That's
don't know
really
how I would
cool.
bribe him to come on to the pod though. I feel like I would just be like, I bought merch, like
I've
I
bought
really,
stuff. Please come on the
yeah,
podcast.
I really like your game. Like, do you like frisbees? Is that why there's a frisbee? Because we could play ultimate frisbee or something. Like, I don't know, like, but
If it's nice out, we'll go play frisbee. If it's gross out, then we go do escape rooms.
yes, yes,
Because
because
if he's
we
got
have
that
spoken
puzzle
about escape.
mind,
Yeah, I
right?
bet you'd be great in an escape room. Yeah, yeah. We just go and do escape room, then go outside and play ultimate frisbee,
Mm-hmm. What if we
and then
build an escape room together?
oh, that would be good. So we could spend the time that he's on designing a digital
Yes.
escape room, and then we could make all the rest of GSC do the escape room
Yes.
while we watch, and we can be like, oh god, that's oh they got it, or like oh my god, can you believe how dumb these people are? Like
Yes. No, I love escape rooms, and I don't remember if we've talked about this on the podcast. Years ago, I with two friends built like an escape room in the basement of my parents' house, and
that's amazing.
we used stuff that was already like in the house, and then just built like a few other things. Um, And the house that we were living in at the time, it had like two entrances into the basement essentially. One, you would come in through the workroom, and then there was another door that led you into the actual basement. The other door brought you right into the basement. So we constructed a storyline and this escape room, like using the two doors. You went in to the one that brought you into the workroom, so you still had another door to open and then finally get out. Um, so we used a lot of what we had, but it is so interesting to watch people figure out puzzles, and I almost wonder if he has taken the time to watch people, because it's a game, like to watch streams of people figuring out the puzzles and doing that,
Yeah.
because watching the way people's brains work through the puzzles is super interesting. Watching the things that are right in front of people that they miss is hysterical. And then
Yeah.
if there's any like red herrings that are just there as a distraction, like seeing people get really caught up in them is a lot of fun. Um,
Yeah.
I'd be curious, like having not played the game, but having seen a little bit of it, I would be curious to see like, has he done any of that, right? Like, what has been some of the best reactions that he's seen? Like, has he ever seen someone think through the game and then just, or like start to play the game and just get so caught up in something that he's practically like yelling at the screen telling these people to like
Yeah.
move on, and I just remember that was like part of watching people figure out the puzzles, where it's like, don't get caught up in this, don't focus on this, like move on, like it's okay, this isn't what you think it is, and that's a lot of fun. So I'd be curious to ask, like, not just, oh, obviously the reaction to the game has been great. What are your favorite individual reactions? That's
Yeah.
that's good.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I think I know, and you probably see this a lot more because you are a streamer. But I know sometimes, like when I'm watching someone play a game and I know what they're supposed to do and they're not doing it, I'm like, I get really frustrated
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to tell someone, but at the same time, you're like, it's right in front of your face, though. It's like right there, like it's right in front of your face. Like, so yeah, it would be interesting to see if he feels the same,
Mm-hmm.
or just if it's really hilarious to watch people just get fully lost in the sauce of something when he's like that doesn't do anything at
Yeah.
all. Like,
Yeah. I'd also be
like
curious, like, does that puzzle brain of his to create all of this, like in a digital realm, could he
mhm,
replicate that in like a physical, real, like
yeah,
capacity, right? Where you are sort of limited by like what you have at your fingertips, right? Like, in a game, characters can do whatever, right? You
yeah,
can make it work. Like, could that translate well into like designing a true escape room that's all
mhm.
physical, tangible things? I think that would be a fun little pop-up, you know?
Yeah. Our social club Billy Basso escape room. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think that would do well. Like, mostly because of Billy Basso's name would be associated with it. But like, I think we could. I play a lot of puzzle games. I think we could come up. You've made an escape room before. I think we could come up with some fun puzzles.
Absolutely.
Um, there was a few times Harry and I played like blueprints at the same time as each other while we were on Discord. Um, and there's like a chess puzzle in it. If you played Blueprints, I won't spoil anything if you haven't. But there is a chess puzzle in the game that you can find, which I don't think is much of a spoiler because like it's not massively hidden.
Okay.
But like Harry had his own theories about the chess puzzle. But even though we hadn't even like necessarily got to the 46th room and stuff like that, I got so obsessed with figuring out this chess puzzle, like to the point that I would like derail a run trying to find out the thing that I thought was the solution to the chess
Okay.
puzzle. So I have like, and the notepad that I use to write about games is usually used for puzzle games. And if you look at then the Animal World one, then the blueprints, and the another game that I've been playing recently, it is like the scrawlings of a lunatic, just just like just screeds, and so many of them are for this bloody chess puzzle and blueprints. And I just keep drawing out the grid of the house and then just writing in like chess names on bits of the grid as I go through. And then like I've got a big list of all of the rooms where you can find each chess piece. And I'm like, and Harry's like, I don't know if it's this complicated. I like you are going insane. Like you are literally losing your mind. And maybe you should like relax. And I'm like, I need to figure out the chess puzzle. I need to do it. But I did figure it out. I did figure it out. But I was by myself, so I didn't even get a chance to be like, ah. Like, and then behind the chess puzzle, there was another puzzle, and I was just like, like this game has broken my brain. I have to switch it off. I have to go to bed.
One
Like
of those.
what do you mean? Like, it's like this took so long. This took me days.
Oh no.
It was good though. It was good. I've still not finished all of the puzzles and blueprints. Actually, I should go back to that. Like, there's just been too many banger games this year.
That's
believe.
true.
Like,
No, that is absolutely true. Speaking of games that are amazing, although I don't know that I'm gonna be able to get through this one, and it is not a puzzle game. And we've talked about two of these people being fantasy guests before. I started playing Dead Take, which is the psychological horror game that has like Neil Newbon and Ben Starr. The game is fucking terrifying. Okay? I mean, I was like, it's psychological horror. Like, how bad could it be, right? Because I'm like, I like psychological horror movies and whatever, right? I mean, there were like moments that I was jump scared, and I was like, okay, you can kind of get past a jump scare, whatever. But just so unsettling, like so perfectly unsettling. I got through maybe an hour and a half so far, right? And I'm a chicken, right? So I was like, oh, well, I literally was like, I don't like this other game that I'm playing on stream right now. Let's try this game, right? Because I like the voice actors in it and I like all the stuff. So let's just give it a shot. How bad could it be, right? I think it's not even like it's not an expensive game, right? I know there's like movie scenes where it's the actual actors. It's not just their voices, right? So I'm like, okay, well maybe in my head, I'm like, this will be enough of like a break from the game to watch the things so that I'm not as actively participating in it, so that it'll feel, not so bad. And I was like very confident at the start, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever, this is fine. My gosh. Like, I literally I was like, I'm sitting here and I can feel like my heartbeat racing, and like I can feel my hands being a little shaky, and I was like, all right, so we're gonna end the stream here. I know it's not that long. I'm like, my nerves can only take so much. And like that night, I was like trying to go to sleep. I fell asleep. I woke up in the middle of the night like thinking about this stupid fucking game, right? And it's not that it's a stupid game. It's actually so far, it's actually a great game, right? But I was just like, it is 2 a.m. and it's like pitch black in the apartment because we're trying to sleep. And all I'm thinking about is like some of the areas in this game and the sound of the baby crying and the musical lullaby and the few things that like I have figured out, and the stupid Roomba that kept hitting like the thing. And it's very early, so I'm gonna spoil something in the game. There's one room where spoiler alert if you want to play the game and you want to be surprised, but this is something that happens within like, if you're better than me, the first 30 minutes, right? If you don't keep pausing to catch your breath and take your hand off the controller because it's terrifying.
Like,
yeah, like there's like a moment where you unscrew a light bulb, right? And the whole room changes, and there's just this disturbing image plastered on the wall all around you. And I was just like, what is this? I don't like this. I don't like this. I grabbed the thing that I needed real quick and I turned the light bulb back in, and then I'm back in the first room, and I was like, this is unreal. I was like, this is absurd, right? And there's so many times where you like leave a room and you think you're in a different room, and the sounds the ambiance is so well done, right? And again, I'm maybe an hour and a half into it. I'm not that far into it. I still have yet to see. I have only seen Neil Newbon, and Ben Starr. I know there are a ton of other voice actors in it, right? And actors with like video as well. Um, I have not gotten to them because of how terrifying it is and how I had to keep stopping. There are, and part of the reason, I mean, I want to talk about this game anyway, but there are a lot of puzzles that you have to figure out in it, which I do
Yeah.
appreciate, right? So you have to, you have to figure out certain aspects and what you do in certain areas, and I was like, okay, maybe if I just keep focusing on the puzzle thing, right? So like literally I've solved one of the puzzles in a room, uh and then some of the noises started again, and I was like, okay, I think that's a good place to stop. Like we're gonna stop here. Maybe I'll play this like on an early morning stream where I have all the bright lights out and just
Yeah.
not all of this, and I don't try to go to sleep right after. So well done. I mean, just really, really good. The puzzles aren't crazy difficult, but
Mhm.
I almost feel like they didn't make them crazy difficult so that you can stay just a bit on edge.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like good horror games. Like as we one of our colleagues, Russell, he reviews horror games for the site quite frequently because he loves a horror game. But he does say like a good horror game needs to have puzzles in it,
Mm-hmm.
which I do agree with. But I do find usually puzzles in horror games are a little bit easier. And I think it is because if you get too lost in the puzzle, then you're forgetting that one, you're supposed to be terrified,
Mm-hmm.
but two, it's like they're supposed to also be like relentless. So it's like if you spend too much time stuck on something, then you're no longer afraid. You're like no more
Yes.
longer immersed in the fact. I am, and if you've, I've reviewed some horror games for the site. I don't do very often because I am a massive baby. I am terrified of everything. I live alone. Like I am, I am afraid of spiders, which makes living alone quite difficult. I am afraid of sharks to the point that once I had to get out of a bath because I was reading a Jaws in the bath. Um, I I have nightmares constantly about the velociraptors from Jurassic Park, which is my favorite movie of all time. Like I am so afraid of everything that if I was to play this game, I feel like even in the morning with all the lights on, I would be like, okay, well, we're never sleeping again. That's
Yeah.
it. We can never sleep. That's it.
That's it.
Just
I'm gonna
stay awake.
try. I'm gonna try to play it during the day and see if it makes a difference. But I have already told people, I'm like, there's a chance we don't finish this game.
Yeah.
Like,
Although I'm super intrigued by it now though, because I do like I really want to be less of a baby, and I know that
same.
it's I like would enjoy it. And sometimes when I see like my friend loves horror movies, God bless her, and I will try and watch them with her because her wife hates horror movies, and I'm like, this is what a good friend would do.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember once 14 years ago going to her flat and watching Wreck. I don't know if you've seen Wreck. Um,
No, I don't think so.
it's a Spanish zombie movie that's set in like an old block of flat.
Okay.
They made an English version of it. I think it was called Quarantine, which is,
Oh,
as far as
okay.
I'm aware,
Mm-hmm.
is not as terrifying.
I've heard of
I
it,
am
but I
telling,
haven't watched it.
I'm talking about this film now, so I am remembering this film, and I am knowing that I will now struggle to sleep later. And I had seen it before. We watched it at her flat, which was an old block of tenement fucking flats in Glasgow. And then we went to bed, and she had blackout blinds, and the boiler was in her room. And I remember just lying in this pitch
Mm-hmm.
black room with the boiler making noises, being like, I'm going to die. Like I'm genuine, like this is not even like a oh, I'm so afraid, like get a hold of yourself. Like for that moment, I was like, I might die here. Like I might
Yeah.
just drop dead.
Yeah.
Or be attacked by a zombie. And when she left to go to work the next morning, I got out of the bed and then had a nap on the couch before I had to go to uni because I couldn't because the room was so dark and I couldn't deal with it. Like
Oh my god.
so I know if I play this game, that's it, no sleep for a week. Like I will just sit in my bed with all the lights on, being like, we're going
Yeah.
out.
I mean, and I remember when I looked at it on Steam, right? I looked and I was like, well, it says it's horror, but it says it's psychological horror. You know, maybe it's not so bad. And then I look at the price point, right? It's like $16. This is not an expensive game. So I was like,
Yeah.
well, even if I don't finish it, I didn't spend that much money on it. So no big deal, right? Like this is how I'm now rationalizing it. And then I look at what it's bundled with, right? It's
Hmm.
There's a bundle on Steam. It is Dead Take and Pal World. Two very different games, right? I think it's that the publishers are the same or whatever. So I'm like, it's bundled with Pal World. How bad of a horror game can it actually be if you're bundled with Pal World?
Yeah. I'm looking at it now on Steam. It was made by the studio that made the Tales of Kenzara Zhao, which was like the voice actor from Assassin's Creed Origins.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
which was an absolute banger of a game, but I wouldn't be expecting their next game to be like
Right?
keeps you up at night psychological horror. Like
Right? So here I am being like, oh, it can't be that bad. Right? It's probably fine. And I really thought, I was like, well, especially since they're doing the thing with like the videos of the actors, and they're getting, obviously not like A-list actors, but pretty well known in the gaming community, right? So
oh yeah.
I'm like, maybe this is just more of like a artistic sort of piece of a game, right? That's horror, but not really. No, no. So far, in the hour and a half that I've played, they've nailed it. And I'm terrified. And I underestimated all the horrific things, right? And I'm streaming it, right? So I have people that are in a chat with me responding to
Yeah.
things, and sometimes that helps take the edge off of things. It didn't. It wasn't enough of a distraction to take the edge off of the horror that I was feeling. So I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, y'all really nailed it. Kudos to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like I do feel like it is hard to make like a horror property, whether that's a movie or a game, that is a really well done horror piece that doesn't rely just on jump scares.
Yeah. Because I don't like jump scares, but once the jump scare's done, I'm
It's
like,
done.
oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not afraid of a jump scare. Obviously, you're like, huh. I don't know if you've seen it, and it is probably not the most recent Scream, but like the Scream that they did a few years ago, where it was the first one where they got like all the original cast back.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
There is a scene in that where like they set up like 4 jump scares in a row, like one after each other, but none of them has a jump scare.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sat in the cinema waiting for it to happen for so long that I think at some point I just stopped breathing because I was waiting for it's like there's a bit where the I think the woman opens the fridge, and the way that it's set, it's like the fridge door's blocking the rest of the shot,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, it's going to be behind. Is it going to be behind the door? It's going to be behind the door, and then she closes the fridge and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, but so many like one after the other, and I was just like, I'm so stressed out right now. Like, and then I think at the end of it all that it wasn't even a jump scare that happened. It was like just then like Ghostface just like
Mm-hmm.
walks into the shot, but you're so on edge by that point
Yes.
that even though it's not a jump scare, you're like, fucking hell. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it was like a masterclass in horror movie editing, because I think you're right. There are so many because again I do go and watch horror movies sometimes with my friends because I do consider myself to be a good friend. Like um but we went to see the movie Smile as well. I don't know if you've seen
Oh,
that.
I have not seen it, but yeah.
So I did spend most of the movie just sort of like half watching it, just looking at the bottom of the screen in
Mm-hmm.
the cinema,
Mm-hmm.
and drinking quite heavily, because I was just like, God damn.
Maybe that's what I
But
messed up on. Yeah.
yeah, you could get drunk before you play it, and you could be a little bit easier. Like it could be a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there was some genuinely frightening parts of that movie. but there was some bits that were so obviously set up for a jump scare, and then the jump scare happens, and you're like, oh, and then you're like, oh. And when I came home, despite the fact I am a big baby, I didn't actually have that much trouble sleeping
Okay.
at
Yeah.
the end of it, because I think it was just a little bit over reliant on the jump scare.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the slight moment of tension, and then the release, and you're like, okay, I'm fine now.
Yeah.
Whereas I think you're right with proper psychological horror, like, and I think some of the best ones is you kind of don't even realize it's frightening you at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and then later when you're just sitting thinking about it, you're like, oh no, I am terrified. like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
like,
the ones that sit with you.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. You like, I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's because it's always, if it's done well, it's that it sits with you and you sort of can't stop thinking about it, or that it creeps into your mind when you finally have like let your guard down.
Yeah, like for you at 2 a.m. after playing this game,
Yeah.
you're like,
Like I was able to sleep. I was able to, and then it's like, and then I'm like, wait, but what was that knocking that was on this door? And like, who was knocking? Because then I didn't see anybody. So where did they go? And this crib and the baby crying, but there's no baby in the crib. And like, and it's just all these things
yeah,
that then just I'm like, right, and I'm like, oh, this is so unsettling. Like, and the worst part is that I'm like, I want to see how it progresses, especially because then as we were, as I'm streaming it and playing with, playing and people are watching and they are coming up with theories about it, right? So then of course because you're coming up with theories, I'm like, well, now I want to see if any of these theories are right. Right?
yeah,
Are we trying to save someone? Are we the crazy one? Like what? I don't know, right? I
mm,
want to see what the truth is. But to see what the truth is, that means either A, I need to finish it, right? Or B, I need to watch somebody else play it from beginning to end.
yeah.
And like everybody that was there with me is like, yeah, I'm not playing this game. They're like,
Like,
no, no,
please,
you
someone,
need to
please,
finish.
someone stream this.
I'm like,
like,
please, somebody, anybody, like, why me?
Sean, Sean,
Oh,
I know you like cozy
he,
games. Please
oh,
don't.
he will never. Um, I maybe we talked about this on the podcast before. I don't remember. But he does not like horror games. He does not like horror movies. Even though like our second date was a horror movie, but since then we've never seen a horror movie together.
Oh, do you have a friend like me who
I do
sucks it
have
up to go,
I do have a friend
or
who
do you have a friend like me who's like super into horror and you need to suck it up for them? like,
no, I have a friend who she's about the same level of into horror as I am. Um, so like there are certain things that we will go and we will see, and then there are certain ones where we're just like, this is a little too much. We're not gonna see this. Um, Funny enough, my sister has started to get into horror. Um,
okay,
like she has seen all of the Terrifier movies. Like, and
yeah, I've never watched any of those. Yeah,
these were not movies that I ever thought she would have seen, but she like loves that clown. And I'm like, I don't know why. I know he has a name and I don't remember what it is, but she loves him. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
okay. Art. I think his name is Art. If someone has seen the
okay.
Terrifier movies, please tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Let let us
Um,
know. Convince us why we should watch them. Like
yeah.
we
She's
like we'll do a Discord watch along if you join the Discord. like, if it's your favorite horror
uh
movies, we'll do a Discord watch
oh
along.
my god.
like,
I have done watch-alongs not for a horror movie. I've done watch-alongs for the Sonic movies, although I haven't seen the last one yet. Um I mean,
same.
what? I've
I was
never
supposed to go to the cinema to see it, but it was too close to Christmas. I was busy.
yeah. I mean, I've totally never seen a movie in Discord and not paid for it or anything like that. That's totally not a thing I've done. Um,
no, we would never. We would
but never,
never.
never.
The FBI would come for us. like,
I wouldn't download a car. That's a reference if you watch next week's episode.
you have to
Um,
come back to
you have to
understand that
you have to come back.
reference.
No, I just like I am a real. I think it's also that like it's been so long that since I've seen a lot of horror stuff or like good. I should say good horror stuff, right?
yeah,
So then diving into this, like no, with horror movies, I'm normally okay because I'm not the active participant. right? It's
Yeah, I do find
passive.
horror games significantly more difficult to parse. Yeah, like
Yes. And just, oh, like, I'm supposed to play it again tomorrow, and I listen,
when are you
all of you.
streaming? I will come on your stream for moral support.
It's
I will like, you
supposed.
can do this, and then half an hour in, I'm like, I can't watch this. I have to go.
Supposed to do this like tomorrow morning. I guess it would be like 3-ish for you if I'm brave enough to do it. God, I just, yeah.
I've added it to my wish list on Steam because you have intrigued me, but I know that I
It's,
like I remember playing the original Dead Space when it came out. I
mhm,
I asked for it for Christmas. My gran bought me it. And because she didn't know what it was just like, this
yeah.
is your Christmas present. I'd asked for it. And then she heard me say the phrase strategic dismemberment, and she was like, what have we raised? Who is this? Why is she excited about this? Like, but then I sat and played it, and I got to one of the bits where I was just like, I know this is going to be a jump scare. I know this is going to be a jump scare.
Mhm,
My
mhm.
friend was there. My friend Joseph was round, and he was like, "You just have to open the door." And I was like, "I don't want to open the door." Like, and he was like,
Yep.
"Just do it." And I was like, "I don't want
Yep.
it." Like, and I never finished it. I'm still not finished. I went
Yep.
back to play it through Game Pass on backwards compatibility. I do still have the disc for it as well. Um, and I will finish it. And I was a much better as an adult than I was as like when I played it as a teenager. I was like, all right, this isn't actually that scary. But oh, that at that moment when I was playing
Mhm.
it as a teenager, I was like, I'm going to cry. Like I'm literally just going to cry. Like
Oh yeah.
like
Mhm.
I'm so afraid. And because, as you say, you've got the controller in your hand, so you're the person that has to make the decision to go forward. And I'm like, I can't. It's too scary.
Lit- Literally, the other game I've had that with, I don't know if you've seen it or played it or watched people played it, Visage. When did that
Oh,
one
I
come
have
out?
watched someone play Visage. Yeah, that looked just not just terrifying, but like grim.
Yes,
Like,
it is. It
yeah,
100% is.
because there's a certain point with horror where I think sometimes it gets too like gross
Mhm.
that I'm also, because again I am much more likely to stick with something even though it scares me more if it's not super gory. Like,
Mhm.
but that's the one where you like cut off someone's face, right?
I
Is that
so
one?
I don't know if it's that one, and the reason being there are like a few different storylines in it
Hmm.
to complete the game. I only started one. I didn't even finish it. And I'm gonna put him on blast on this. And I'm gonna tell him that I put him on blast for this. So this is one that I was also streaming because again, sometimes I think it's easier if there's people with you. And I
Yeah.
had a friend on a Discord call, so I'm streaming it and I had him seeing the screen because he had played this before. So he's walking me through some of these things, right?
Hmm.
So, Grum, this is your fault that I could not finish this freaking game. Right? He's like, "Oh, try this one." Right? Well, it's a storyline about a little girl, right? And I kept trying to like figure out like what I had to do and I'm running from her and it was just so unsettling, right? And some of it was
Yeah.
jump scares, some of it's jump scares, some of it was I was just taking too long to do things, which is why she could catch me and then I could be jump scared, right? But I'm taking too long to do things because I'm terrified, right? So I can't
Yeah.
even use my fingers to move the buttons the right way. And I just remember that this was like the height of COVID. So um, Sean went out for a walk because New York took COVID very seriously. So there were many things that we could not do still. So he goes for a walk. He comes back. And when he comes back, he looks at me and he's like, "Are you crying?" That's how much this game shook me. That, like,
Yeah.
physically, I looked so stressed and like I was crying. And, like, we finally had to stop because I was like, my nerves are shot. Like, I'm so shaken. Like, I could feel all the muscles in my body be very tensed just from playing the game. And I couldn't even finish it. And it's like, I just remember, like, because there's obviously a little bit of a delay, and he's like, "What happened? What happened?" And I'm like, "I died. It's fine. It's fine." And I like, there were times where I just dropped everything, like my hands to my face, like just so
Yeah.
much terror in this game. And I'm like, I didn't even finish one storyline. There's
Yeah.
like four. I don't know how people finish this game. I don't know how people get through this game. But again, it was one of those very well done horror games, right? Because I know there are other games and there's like, your Five Nights at Freddy and stuff. And I'm like, but that's just reliant on jump scare,
Yeah.
right? Like, yes, they can be fun. And like, if you're a streamer, I am sure they can be good content or whatever, but they're not horror, right? Like,
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's not going to stick with me. These other
No,
two
I've seen.
games.
Yeah, I've
Ugh.
seen people play Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm like, yeah, people in character costumes are inherently creepy. But yeah, realistically, it's just like, oh, bear appears on screen and you die.
Yeah.
Like okay, like we
Yeah.
all watched the videos that your friends used to send you, like on the school PCs to
Mm-hmm.
see, like the right at the very end. It was just like the girl from the Ring face and like a
Right.
really loud noise to be like fucking hell, like.
Yes.
But that doesn't keep me up at night. Like,
No. That gets my
like
heart rate up for a little bit, and then I'm like, you bastard. And then that's it. And you
yeah,
move along.
and then I never think about it ever again. Like,
Right. Until a
yeah,
conversation like this, and you're like, remember that silly thing that we used to do on like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
No, but if you're listening to this and you're a horror fan, for the love of God, like tell me if it gets like more horrifying. I'm gonna try to play it some more before this episode comes out, probably, maybe, if I wake up with enough balls to actually do it tomorrow morning. Um, but like if you finished it, how is it? What happens? Like I did, you know, we like I said, we have talked about two of these voice actors as like fantasy guests before. So I've already seen Ben Starr and some of his scenes, right? Obviously not all of them. Um Somebody did post like the scenes that like Sea Dog VA, or one of the scenes that he's in, because obviously he's done voice acting, but this is him acting also in front of a camera. So people were like, "Oh, do you think he did good? Do you think he did not good?" And I was watching that clip a bit out of context, obviously, even though
yeah,
I did hear his voice in the game, and as soon as I heard it, I recognized it, and I was like, "Oh, that's Connor." But it wasn't enough for me to be like, "Oh, that's Connor," and now I'm taken out of the horror of the game. It was just enough
yeah,
for like a split recognition, and then I'm like, and I'm still afraid. Okay, great.
yeah,
But I was just like, I was like, all this stuff is still not enough for me to be like, yeah, I can finish this game. I bought it to support the people that made it and the voice actors that are in it and all this other stuff, but I'm like, oh well, I bought it, so you already have my money, so I don't have to finish it, right? Like, you've
yeah.
already got my support.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And if you are a fan of horror and you're listening, can you explain to me like how you're not afraid of it? Am I
Yes.
just a baby?
Am I a
Or
baby?
is is being afraid the point? Like, and the fact that you get afraid is like the good thing. And
Mm-hmm.
then you're just much better at compartmentalizing. So when you go to bed, you don't think about it anymore.
Yes.
Like like so what yeah, because I think realistically, if you're a fan of horror, the quality of the fear should be an
Mm-hmm.
inherent part of what makes it good. Like, because otherwise, what is the point of it? Because
Right.
generally speaking, the storylines are generally, I'm not going to like less clear than they
Mm-hmm.
might be in like a standard movie. Like, not to say that anything is better or worse, but the whole point of the ambiguity is to drive the horror.
Right.
Um, so from a storytelling perspective, it might be like a very different experience than like a fantasy movie or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so is the horror the point? And if the horror is the point, how do you then switch your brain off to stop thinking about the horror all the time? I need to know. I need
Yeah.
to know for my own sanity so that I can enjoy some of these things that I know are fantastic media, but
Mm-hmm.
I am too afraid to do. Like, I once
Yes.
threw my GameCube controller at my TV when I was playing Resident Evil 4. The least scary of all the Resident Evils, apart from maybe 5 and 6, but I've not played those. Like, but
I played 5. It's funny. I didn't think the Resident Evil games were scary. Or okay, I played 5
no,
and 6. Or no, sorry, I played 4 and 5.
Yeah, so Resident Evil 4 is not a particularly scary game, but as we have established in the conversation, I am massive baby. Like I get afraid of things that my brain just makes up in its own head. Like um but I was playing again, my friend was around, it was the middle of the day. And we were like, thank God for CRT TVs, by the way, because if you did this now, your TV's fucked.
Oh yeah.
But so we were sitting on my bed, we're playing Resident Evil 4. Obviously, it's the original GameCube version, because if you don't know, that came out as a GameCube exclusive before it was ported to PS2. Um, and I can't even remember what we were doing, but it's the bit just when you meet the regenerators
Mm-hmm.
for the first time, who are terrifying, and I stand by this to this day. But we were sort of like half having a conversation, and we're like, duh, duh, duh. And I almost just like jump scared myself because we're like half having this conversation, and one of them just like appeared like so close to Leon, and I like instinctually was just like ah, and just hurled the controller like, and it just bounced off the TV screen because again, if you're very young in your listeners, it's
Mm-hmm.
TVs used to have glass screens, like, and it just went, dunk, and
Yeah.
then we were like, shit. It was like, okay, we'll reload the last save. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Like, so like when you're telling us about why you think horror is amazing, please bear in mind that I am the babiest baby to ever have babied. Like, like,
I
but I
I
would
I
like
will
to
say you
not
do
be.
have me beat. Yes.
Yeah, I would
Mm-hmm.
like to not be though. I want to be able to play some of these games, and I'm obviously fine with Resident Evil. I've bought
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil 4 more times than I've bought Skyrim, which is a record. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of more psychological horror games
Mm-hmm.
that are not like sort of action horror like your Resident Evils and stuff that I would love to play because I know that they're amazing games, but I am too baby to be able to do it.
That's fair.
So, help us, horror fans. Help us understand why, and then help us get over the
Yes.
fact that we can't function.
Please. Please
Like,
help.
please send help. In the form of, I don't know, therapy. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I have no idea. I only
mm,
recently played Resident Evil 4, within like the last year and a half, 2 years maybe. And I played I think it was the GameCube port that's now on the Switch because I got it for like
yeah,
$10, if maybe even cheaper. Um, so I played that. I played that one,
it's not
and
scary. Like, it's
it's
not
it's
scary.
it's not, but it's so. There's a few moments where if you turn around, something like is right there and you jump up, right? Okay, fine. That jump scare sort of thing. I think one of my favorite streaming/gaming moments has come from this game because
Mm.
there is the fight that you have, and I can't remember his name. But there's the bomb that's also going, and you have like 3 minutes to
Oh yeah.
like fight
Hmm.
him and stop the bomb.
Yeah.
I kept losing to him, right? So I finally beat him, and I feel great that I beat him. Except that I am now celebrating the fact that I beat him, and I
You forget
forgot
about the
about the
bomb.
bomb. But there is literally, maybe I'll try to link it because I know I put this clip on YouTube where
That's
it's
amazing.
literally, I'm like so excited that like I beat him, and I'm like, yes, yes, I finally beat him. And people in chat are trying to remind me about this bomb, and then everything blows up, and I'm like, I forgot about the bomb. And then I'm just so dejected, like, I forgot about the bomb.
And then you have to do
And I have to do
you
it
have to
again.
do the fight. That's amazing. Oh no, I love that. Like that's so good. Like
It's like,
that's
what's wrong with
just
me?
um like I think I do actually think that Resident Evil um 4 is one of the best like action horror games of all time. I know again it's not the scariest one. I have the remake. I bought a physical version of the remake because
Mm-hmm.
I love Leon Scott Kennedy. I love him. Like he is absolutely a smash.
I now
I am
understand
in
why
love with
people
this
love
man.
him.
Yeah, I'm fully in love with this man to the point that I've seen all of the animated Resident Evil films that he's in, because I'm just like, we love, like, me again, me and my friend Joseph, who was a friend that I've known since high school. We both love Leon Scott Kennedy, and we played a lot of Resident Evil together and watched a lot of Resident Evil movies together due to our mutual love and attraction to Leon Scott Kennedy.
Fair.
um,
Totally fair.
but I've bought the remake. I've not actually had a chance to sit down and play it, but I have seen some clips and stuff of it. The one thing I would say is that it looks super fun, but it does seem like they've removed a little bit of the campiness that made the original so good. Like, because it is, like, obviously they still have the classic line, and then if you've ever played Resident Evil 4, probably not even if you've even played, you've probably just seen a gif or a meme of it. They still have the classic line of, like, when the bell rings in the village, the first bit of it is like, where's everyone going? Bingo. Like, and I'm like, yes, love it. You were literally just attacked by a man with a chainsaw. Like, keep going. But it's so upsetting to me that they removed the bit where he is talking to Salazar, the little
Little
Chinese
Napoleon.
Napoleon. Yeah. And he's like, oh, my right hand will come and find you or something like that. And he's like, your right hand comes off? Like, and I'm like, this is peak video game.
Yep.
Oh, and then when he throws the knife and it gets stuck in his hand, he's just like, it's so camp, and I love it. Like, and yeah, it's not actually that scary at all. Although the regenerated stuff frighten me. They make a weird noise. It's like they have like a weird laughy breath that I do not enjoy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I do appreciate the remakes and the fact that Capcom put a lot of effort into their remakes of Resident Evil games, and change stuff up enough so that, like, new fans can get a new game, but also fans of the original can get a slightly new experience. But I would ask sincerely, Capcom, please make a really camp Resident Evil game again. I need it in my life. I can't play Resident Evil Village, even though I want the hot vampire lady, Lady Dimitrescu,
Lady D,
to beat me up and kill me. I will happily be murdered by hot vampire lady. But I know that there's a basement segment where you're chased around by a giant distorted baby thing where you have no weapons, and I can't. Like, there's just no way I can do it. I know I can't. Like, so please make me a Resident Evil 4 again that is
a little bit of camp,
more camp than scary. Give it to me, please, Capcom, please. Like,
fair.
Because I'm not going to play Resident Evil 7 either, because again, I've seen that, and that's just the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but with fucking zombies.
Oh yeah.
And the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is my most afraid of thing of all time, and I don't know why.
That's like, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've only played
the
4
best
and 5.
horror movie ever made, and you made it into a game but put zombies in it, and I'm like, I can't. Like, I can't do it. Like,
no, I've only played Resident Evil 4 and 5, and my gosh, 5 is such a it feels like such a downgrade from 4.
It is. 1, Trish Redfield
is awful.
You can come at me if you want, Resident Evil fans. Like, but Chris Redfield wasn't even the best protagonist in the game he was in the protagonist of the first game. Like, Jill Valentine, bear.
Just
but yeah, maybe Resident Evil 5 also is too camp. We don't have to have I punched a boulder so hard it exploded.
Yeah,
maybe we don't
just it's like, and I was kind of excited to play it because I played it with Sean. I was like, play it with me, like, we can play this together, it's co-op. That was not good because I don't know that he'll ever play another Resident Evil, and just like I don't think he'll do it ever again. Yeah, that was his first foray into Resident Evil, and I think I ruined it for him.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think, I mean, we could do a again with her because we keep doing this. But if we get a certain amount of likes, we could co-op our way through Resident Evil 5.
It's
Um,
true.
because even though it is bad, I do think that if we played it together, it would be really funny. Like,
It's good for the meme.
oh, absolutely. Just like we could have a lot of fun playing
Yes.
through it, like
Yes.
together, and just making fun of it every step of the way. Like, and yeah, I haven't played Resident Evil 6. I know it. I know Leon comes back.
Mm-hmm.
I know my boy's there. But yeah, I have heard that it's just genuinely terrible. Like, just doesn't make any sense, and is not scary. So maybe that's the camp one that Capcom was specifically for me. Like, no fear, only
But they could make
only bad.
another one.
Yeah, they could do it the way that they did Resident Evil 4,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is like, because I played the original Resident Evil remake on the GameCube, right? Like when they remade the first one, um, which absolutely is a fantastic remake and fully holds up and is still scary. Like, um, and I remember playing a little bit of the original Resident Evil 2 when I was far too young to be playing the original Resident Evil 2 and genuinely being terrified. I think it was like it is very much like my only foray into Silent Hill,
Mm-hmm.
which was when my cousin handed me a controller because he was watching us and he had to go to the bathroom, and when he came back, I was crying.
Silent Hill is legitimately terrifying, and I just can't. I just can't with those games. But
No, I've never finished the Silent Hill.
no.
Sorry for anyone who is not watching and is my headset is being playing a bit of silly buggers, as we would say currently, but I think it's reconnected fully now.
All good, all good. Yeah, the Silent Hill, the footsteps and the silence and the ambiance, and then just
Mm.
the radio and the static that just picks up all too quickly when something approaches. I'll
Yeah,
never forget that.
that is the like the key moment. Like it's a fully I don't remember loads of stuff from my childhood. Like sometimes when people talk about their childhood and it's like they've got a photographic memory, I think it's super odd because I only remember bits and bobs here and there. But I have like such a vivid memory of sitting on my cousin's bed and him handing me like this PS1
Mm-hmm.
controller, being like, just press forward. Um, and then the static on the radio picked up, and then like something just coming at me, shambling through the fog, and
Yup.
just bursting into tears because I was fucking terrified. And again, we were watching him play it, so I wasn't too afraid to watch him play it. But as soon as I was the person that had to make the
Yes.
character move, I couldn't do it. I was like, "Ugh,
That's
and
the
then he came back
key.
and he's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you crying, bro? Like, you were fine like 2 minutes ago. And I was like, like,
That is that is literally it though. That is literally the key. It's like once you are the person in control of it, it becomes that much more real and it's just like like, oh
yeah,
god.
no. I do feel like I have to buy this game though because you've sold it to me, and the fact that I will never finish it, and I will probably never play it for more than 10 minutes at a time.
I,
But
it's I mean, like I said, the first I will say I think the first 30-ish minutes are fine, right? It's because the first 30 minutes I was still feeling pretty okay, right? I was like, all right, like I get it. It's fine. We're doing good. And then like it started to ramp up and um I mean it's still on Twitch, I think. Yeah, cuz I think it stays for a couple of weeks. Um
yeah,
you know, before you I don't know what the conversion is from $15 to pounds. Um
it's only 11.99 in
okay.
pounds, so very very well
Very
priced.
affordable. I mean,
Yes.
the little bit that I have played, that I've been able to get through, I definitely think they could have charged more, right? Full disclosure. Not that I want you to raise the price of the game, but I think they could have. right?
Yeah.
Because I think it is, from what I've gotten through, that well done, right? I think it's just, I don't know if horror games just don't sell as well in the same capacity, or like psychological horror games don't sell as well. Um, but I think they definitely could have had a little bit of a steeper price point. And I mean, and if they, if this is the quality of psychological horror that they can put out, not to oversaturate it, but I think then maybe that's something to like keep, going with. And like you were saying before, with like the ambiguity of the story, I think it's also, it almost like, you almost don't feel that on edge, because to some extent the story seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Until certain things happen. So I think it gives you this sort of false sense of confidence that, yeah, I can do this. I can jump into this horror. Like, I'll be fine, right? Because you're this guy and you're going to get your friend Vinny at like whatever it is that he, right? So it's like, it
Fucking Vinny. It's
seems
always Vinny. Like,
it just seems so straightforward, right? And you're
mm,
like, okay, and then you start to see things that you're like, wait a second, what's really, so it's, but it's, I mean, again, it's that perfect level of making you not so on edge until suddenly you're on edge, and you're like,
yeah.
how did I get here? What happened?
Yeah.
Also,
No.
hashtag not a sponsor for this game, right? I know, like, this
Yeah.
has unofficially become like a horror episode, but um
Which I think is fun.
yeah,
Like, because it's not a genre that I would ever really actually think to talk about, because it's not, again, because I'm a
it's
big
not my
baby.
main genre.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are some fantastic horror games that I've had a lot of fun with since uh, working, doing work for the site,
Mm-hmm.
like Crow Country. I don't know if you played Crow Country.
I haven't.
Um, but it's like a little like PS1 style horror, so it's all fixed camera angles, like the same graphics and stuff. And again, I think that, if I played it on the PS1 when it was on the PS1, I would have been terrified. But I think because of where we are now in the games industry, like, um, I am slightly less afraid of things that don't seem as realistic, especially when it comes to horror. Um, but it's
Mm-hmm.
a super fun little game, and it is actually like very creepy. I played it. I completed the entire thing in like 5 hours because
Okay.
we got the code really. We didn't get the code. Like, someone who took said they would do the code couldn't have it, and the
You
embargo was the next day.
I think
And
you've
Dana was
mentioned
like,
this, yes.
yeah, it was like, oh, because we were just starting out. But Crow Country was really, it was a super fun little game. Would highly recommend. Again, it's a really small studio, um, and it's not too horror, but it's the perfect amount of horror. If,
Okay.
like me, you are a bit of a big baby, but there's still a lot of creepy moments in it where I was just like, oh, I don't like that. But not too many that I couldn't um finish the entire game in 5 hours as soon as I finished work, and then write up the review overnight to make sure we hit embargo.
That is dedication.
Well, obviously we're a lot more. This was very young in the site,
Yeah.
so, and because we do, and if you not listen to the news podcast or you don't know, we endeavor to finish all of the games that we review,
Mm-hmm.
or get, for stuff that doesn't really have an end, get to like a good amount of hours in, so that when we are giving your opinions, they are fully formed and they're about, so we're never going to, it's not going to be like, oh, this game is terrible, but it actually gets good like 5 or 10 hours in, or the front half of the game is great and the second half is shit, but
Mm-hmm.
we never saw that because we didn't get there. So we're a little bit more lax about hitting review embargo timelines now, because it's more important for us that the game is complete,
Mm-hmm.
and that the readers of the reviews, get like a comprehensive look at
Yeah.
the game. But right at the start of the site, we were really paranoid about not missing embargo. So I was like, fuck, like, play this game. And I was like, Dan was like, the dev says it's only about 5, 6 hours long. And I was like, right, okay. So I finished it, and then I was like, oh, but shit, I still need to write the review. So I finished it at like midnight, and then stayed up to like 3 in the morning
Oh my
writing the review.
gosh.
And then I had work the next day. And I was just like, oh God, why did I sign up to do this? Like,
you were one of the zombies in Resident Evil. That's what happens. Like you V's dedication made her one of the zombies in Resident Evil. That's well, or that's what she looked like the next day, maybe. But yeah, I thankfully I don't think I've had anything that bad time wise. I don't think so.
No, we're much better for getting codes and
Yeah,
stuff at a reasonable time now. And again, we are like, it's more important
to
that we
finish it.
finish the game
Yeah.
than uh than hit the arbitrary target. Because embargo just means you can't speak about it beforehand. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so, it's not actually if we don't get it up the exact same time as all the rest of the sites, that's fine because it is more important that, you know, the review is accurate to what we've played. Like,
I was talking to somebody about that yesterday where they're playing Date Everything. And I was like, do you know actually how hard it is to deal with an embargo? Right? And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, because this game is great. And I wanted to talk to people about this game. But one, there was nobody to talk to this game with because nobody had played it yet. And then it's like, I want to tell people how great this game is, but I have to wait. I have to
yeah.
wait until like the embargo time has hit to tell people how great the game is. And then it's so funny because, because again, I stream on Twitch, so I have a lot of friends who stream on Twitch. And then seeing so many people play the game, right? One, I was like, great, my opinion was correct because everybody's loving this game, so fantastic. Um,
Yeah.
but then two, like seeing them like struggle with certain things or trying to figure out certain things, it is then I'm like, I want them to enjoy the game and I want to appreciate the game. And then they're like, I'm trying to unlock these things and I'm trying to unlock these characters, and I'm like, well, I wrote a thing that will help you unlock them. But you want to figure it out on your own. But I can tell you, like, I can give you this link that will tell you because I know which ones are the most pain in the ass to unlock because I wrote the guide on how to unlock the 11 top ones. Like, let me tell you, oh, you want to make them real people? I did a thing for that, but you want to figure it out. So, okay, so I'm just going to sit
It's
here
fine.
and watch. But it's like, I'm like, but I want to tell you.
It is so difficult. Like, because we do a segment on the news podcast, which is like what you've been playing, and then some weeks, if you have a game for review, like you're just like, so what have you been playing? It's like something. Can't talk about it though. Like, you just like have nothing to share with the class. But you're right. But especially if it's a really good game, you like really want to talk about it, and it's like obviously this is not us complaining about
No.
getting codes early in games. It is fantastic and a massive perk of the stuff that we do, and I'm so forever grateful that devs and publishers and stuff will send us these things because it's
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. But yeah, sometimes I just want to be like, I'm playing a good game and I'm really excited. And I go to work and people are like, oh, like, are you doing anything for the site? And I'm like, yeah, my God, talk about it.
It's like I'm playing this game and it's really great, but I can't talk about this game. So just know that it's a game that I'm playing that it's really great.
Yeah, yeah. And then you're right, and then it comes out, and then you've completed it, and probably have had to move on to something else because there is not a lot of people that work for Gamer Social Club
Mm-hmm.
or write for Gamer Social Club, should I say? Because this is a not for profit, like we are a little grassroots site. And there's not a lot of us, and we have to move on to stuff quite quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but then other people start to play it, and they're like, "This is great," and I'm like, "I know, I want to talk about it, but I don't have time now because I'm now playing new thing that I can't fucking talk about." like,
It's just
like
so funny.
yeah, we have our Discord channels for everyone, and if you would like to join our Discord, please come along. We can talk more horror games. But we have a thing called "What You Playing," and I'm like, can't talk about it.
I,
It's fine. Like, can't even participate in the "What You Playing" channel. Like, it's fine. Like,
I can't talk about this thing that I'm playing, but okay, I just watch everybody else's play and just okay.
your fun screenshots, having a fun time, and I'm like, I'm also having a fun time, but I can't tell anyone I'm having a fun time.
You can't
Like,
you can't see the screenshot until 12 p.m. this day when it's in the article.
yeah, please read my review of what I've been playing, because I was having a really fun time with it. And it's like, so what are you playing now? And it's like, can't talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
I think actually this month has probably been the month that I have since I've started writing the least things that I can't talk about.
Yeah, I've not really had. I'm saying out loud, like I've not really had anything this month, knowing that I'm currently playing a game that is under embargo. Like,
Yeah, I have like I mean partially because I knew with like my actual like job that this week that just passed and next week are like I work in higher ed, so two of the most insane weeks, right? So I was like, I know that like I'm exhausted by the end of the day, right? I know it. Um, so maybe that's the only reason I probably fell asleep after Dead Take, because I was so tired. Um, but so it's like I know so I was like I don't know that I can really do too much. I just finished something for early access. Actually, there's no embargo for it, so I just finished a cozier game, um, that is cute. There are some things that drove me a little bonkers, and maybe it's just because I'm not a cozy person, right?
yeah,
And I was nice about it in the article, right? And I say nice about it because it wouldn't translate as well as what I'm going to say. Um, the character, she walks around and then sometimes she just starts fucking skipping, and I'm like, stop skipping. I know this is supposed to be whimsical and beautiful and wonderful, and she's like a little kid that's so excited, but your fucking skipping is giving me motion sickness. I wish I could toggle this on and off. Stop. Like, just walk like a normal person. This skipping nonsense, stop it. And she'll just skip
get
for like
you
5 seconds.
take your whimsy and just fuck off with it.
Literally,
I don't hear this shit. Like we're serious gamers here. I don't want any of your
literally.
fucking whimsy.
I'm like, and I'm just sitting here like, what? 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 Like, no. Just no. Stop it. Stop. Get to Granny's house. Get whatever the hell she wants. Stop skipping. I'm done. I'm done. All right. So I did write that I wish there was a toggle for it so that she didn't just jump back and forth. But stop. Fuck it. Stop. Just stop. But it's a cute game for people that like their cozy. I understand, right? It's a foraging game. It's called, I mean, again, it's out already, so whatever. It's called Out and About. And it has a cool premise that you are foraging things in the wild that are actual plants, right? Cool
Mhm.
premise, right? And maybe I should have played it after playing Dead Take. Maybe. Cool premise, relaxing, fine. They also give you a ton of recipes that you can make with the stuff that you can forage, and like it comes up in a web browser, so you can just actually make these things in real life, which is a very cool premise. So kudos to them for that. But my God, this girl skipping.
Why do why do cozy games keep trying to educate me about like horticulture though? That's what I need to know. Like, why are so many cozy games just like obsessed with making me want to be a gardener?
I will say this one wasn't necessarily gardening in the same way, but it was like how to identify the plants, right? So it
Yeah,
was like
so you don't die
so you don't
of.
die. It tells you ones that are poisonous, ones that are not edible. Like how do you some of what you use it for is like different tinctures and salves so that you can like actually help with wounds. So I was like, okay. So it's a little bit of a different spin because it's not just here is every single plant that we made up for this that then I'm like, okay, these are real things that would actually be helpful in the real world. Cool. Fine.
Yeah, yeah, I see in your article that I will read over properly and publish. Uh there's stinging nails.
Yeah.
Um like
I was like, cool.
so
Great. Love that.
I'm not going to go out and harvest fucking stinging
No,
nettles to
I'm
make a
not.
key.
I'm not
Because
either.
there's stingy nettles, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in fact, there is. They make a gin in Sterling called Sterling Gin, and they use nettles as one of the botanicals in it, and it's a very nice gin. But am I fuck going out to get stung by stinging nettles?
No.
Uh, skipping around with a bag full of stinging nettles. They're called stinging nettles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know they're actually called stinging nettles for anyone from who's not from Scotland who is listening to this and being like, "Is she just dumb and she can't say things?" But we call them stinging nettles because it's better.
That's fair. That's fair. No.
um, yeah, to make a quiche, like just buy some cheese and ham or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I don't need this.
No, I'm with you. I'm so with you. Just again, like, just I give it credit, and I even wrote, I'm like, I know that they say that people who are experiencing anxiety, they like to do things that are um familiar, and that's why sometimes I think some of these games are repetitive, right? Because it's familiar things that you do, and they say that's and I wrote this in the article too, right? Where it's they say that's the same reason why people who are like experience a lot of anxiety will watch the same movies over again or the same TV shows over again, because it's the familiar, and it can help people get through those emotions and stuff. And I get that, and I think that's why some of these games, the things that you do are so repetitive. Go out, explore, find the things, harvest the things, identify them, blah blah blah, right? And you do that a few times throughout the day. Fine, whatever. um and I can get behind all of that, and that's all fine. But fucking hell, could you stop skipping randomly when I just need you to get to the beach so I can talk to Bean, who's a little bit of a jerk, like, so that we can help Granny's friend, okay? Like, I don't want you skipping when this guy's basically gonna tell you that you're too much of a youngin', and, like, I don't remember what he said, but I was just like, dude, I'm just here to help. Like, screw you.
Yeah, it's like if I have anxiety, I don't want to see you skipping.
Yeah,
Like,
just walk. Because now I'm gonna be nervous you're gonna trip over that branch. Like, just walk,
yeah,
please.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like, I absolutely understand the whole like people with anxiety want repetitive tasks. I do not have anxiety that I am aware of, but I do have other things. And I have seen the movie Jurassic Park over like 2,000 times. So if I just want something to put on, I'm like, oh man, I love a dinosaur. Put that dinosaur on. Like,
See, I mean,
but I
everyone's
do,
got their thing.
yeah, but I do think it's quite interesting that like cozy games are designed probably to try and get rid of some of the anxiety of day to day life. But
Mm-hmm.
they do, and as someone who does watch the same TV shows and the same one movie all the fucking time, they do absolutely nothing for me. I would much rather do a Dark Souls over and over again, or like a roguelike, because
Mm-hmm.
they are a little bit different every time,
Yeah.
but you are essentially it's the same principle. You are doing the same
Mm-hmm.
thing over and over and over again. But because for me, like a cozy game, there's no goal.
Yeah.
Like there's no
Mm-hmm.
sense of I've done a thing at the
Mm-hmm.
end. It's just like, oh, and we made the town better, or I don't know, Granny was happy, etc.
Yeah.
Um, that I don't get any satisfaction from it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like running through like Hades or like getting a successful run and like Slay the Spire or something like that, it's like
Mm-hmm.
I will play that over and over and over again to
Yep.
get to the end point, because then I get that moment of being like, yes, I've fucking done it. Like
Mm-hmm.
we've done it, ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. Like,
Yeah. No, I think I wonder if that's like I wonder if that's the difference between someone who's like experiencing that anxiety spike and someone who's not, right? Like, if you're like, maybe if you're dealing with that level of anxiety, it's almost like I can't have a goal right now, right? Like, I
yeah,
I don't need a goal because that's just going to stress me out more, right?
yeah,
Uh, I need something to disconnect from the real life goals that I am having to deal with, but I need this
yeah,
relaxation time, so I need something that doesn't have that strict goal, right? Whereas, like, with roguelikes and everything, like you said, there is a goal. There is something that you are trying to achieve. It's
yeah,
something very tangible that you are trying to achieve, right? Whereas some of these cozy
absolutely.
games, it's repetition. You're doing things, but it is
There's no
not
pressure.
there's no pressure with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that
Oh
might be
yeah.
the difference. A strict
Yeah, that, no,
goal,
that
and
that
yeah.
does make a lot of sense. And again, I say I don't have anxiety. Like just off rip tiny bit of V lore, I do suffer from chronic depression. And you do need a goal.
You do, yeah, you need something to keep working towards, right? Like, so maybe we should okay, let me preface this. We are not therapists. Um I am not clinically licensed to do any sort of like therapy or anything like that. I married a social worker, but he also doesn't practice in that way. So we're not therapists saying these things. Do not take this as mental health advice, right? But
Okay. If you have a mental health issue, please see a professional.
yes.
Please do not try and solve your depression with Dark Souls 2.
No.
I have had therapy. Like, it's fine.
like like do not take this as advice, but find whatever it is that helps you. And if it happens to be gaming, and if it happens to be Dark Souls in addition to the help of a licensed therapist, or if it happens to be cozy gaming with the assistance of a licensed therapist, not me, not V, not this podcast, right? Then please feel free to enjoy it. We've said cozy games are obviously not for us. That doesn't mean that I won't try them and give you like an unbiased perspective on this early access game. I see the appeal for it for you cozy gamers out there, so please enjoy it if you're a nature person who also wants to play a game inside when the weather is absolute garbage. But again, this is not mental health advice. So, yeah. I think before we say anything else that might start to sound like mental health advice or dig ourselves into like a deeper hole with any sort of mental health, I'm gonna wrap it up because I don't want anybody thinking that we are giving advice that we shouldn't be giving. So if you made it this far, thanks for joining. Don't forget to catch the UK gang over on the weekly news podcast every week. Find our articles on gamersocialclub.ca. If you need more gamers to chat with, join the Discord, and the link will be down in the description. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share this with your friends. If you're listening on a podcast service, give us 5 stars. In the comments below, tell us something that we did that was wonderful. If you think that we did something that was awful, then let us know what we did that was awful besides bordering on mental health advice that we should not be giving.
Or just hating skipping as a rule. Just fuck off with that. Like
yeah, or just hating skipping. Either way, it's fine. Let us know down below. And before any other bad, awkward advice, we'll catch you next time. Bye. Oh, I think you disconnected. It's okay. Is it really a podcast if there aren't like issues? But I think V has talked about Crow Country before. I think she's back. Oh, I'm getting the finger. There we go.
Yeah, I am now back. I don't know. It's because I promised my PC yesterday I would put his side panel back on,
And
I have
didn't
not
do
done
it.
it. Yeah, so now he's acting up.
Oh no! The microphone cut out again. This is how games get you unsettled in horror. See? This is what they do. You think everything is fine, and then it's not fine. And then suddenly you can't hear the person on the other side. And you can see them laughing, but the horror says no.
Yeah, maybe it's because we're having a thing about horror. It's like my PC's like, oh, but what about if we were haunted? Like, like
You must
I don't
complete a
even
horror
know.
game.
Oh no. Oh, I'm never gonna be able to do any podcasts ever again.
You just have to put that side panel back on.
Yeah, I will put the side panel back on. I'm sorry. I am sorry.